The United Nations Economic and Social Council conducted a vote on a resolution last week. The vote singled out one country and declared this one country as the sole violator of women's rights in the world. Now, before we tell you which country this was, let's first tell you about the countries which targeted it and voted against it. 40 of the 54 nations in this body supported a resolution that portrayed Israel as the one country that's oppressing women on its soil, and that included, which were the countries targeting Israel? Saudi Arabia, Iran, Yemen and Pakistan. If one were to make a list of countries that's hell on earth for women, then these very countries would be right on top of that list. And guess which country they all voted against? Israel. The irony did not miss Nikki Haley, the former US ambassador to the United Nations. She tweeted with the hashtag embarrassing. Only Canada and the United States voted in favor of Israel. Experts have slammed the entire thing as the theater of the absurd. Now let's look at the facts about women in Israel. There are more women in Israel than men. That is the sex ratio. There are about 98.3 men for every 100 women in that country. The sex ratio has been plummeting since the 70s in favor of women. Israel has one of the lowest maternal mortality rates in the world. More than 80% of women above the age of 25 have a secondary education. Israeli women not just have a high participation rate in the country's workforce, nearly 30% of the Israeli parliament is made up of women. It's one of the few countries in the world which has a mandatory military service requirement that applies to women as well, and not restricted to being support staff in the army. Every year, 1,500 female combat soldiers are drafted into the Israeli Defense Forces, the IDF. In 2017, Israel was ranked the world's 8th safest country in the world for women. Women in Israel are one of the most empowered globally, and they have the right to initiate divorce proceedings, and that's why the resolution chosen by the United Nations for a vote seems malicious. What's more, it is said to have been sponsored by the likes of Saudi Arabia and Iran. Look at the condition of women in these countries. While one cannot fathom why the UN body put it to vote, what is even more baffling is India's decision to vote against Israel. And this is a time when Indo-Israel relations are at an all-time high, thanks to the personal touch of the Modi-Netanyahu friendship. Why did India vote on such an obvious politically motivated resolution against Israel? It could have just abstained from voting. Incidentally, 9 countries did abstain. And this list includes the UK, Germany, Brazil and Mexico. But by choosing to vote, and that too against Israel, India has sent out a wrong message. And in fact, this plays into the hands of those who are aligned against Israel.